Data from the Hurricane Hunter shows that Erin has begun to re-strengthen a little bit this morning. Maximum sustained winds up to about 110 miles per hour. The central pressure down to 941 millibars. So as expected, Erin has regained a little bit of its intensity here this morning. But the main story is still the size of the storm. And you can see that despite the fact that the core of Erin is going to pass well offshore of the North Carolina coast as it turns northeastward and then east-northeastward as you go from Wednesday into Thursday. If you look at the forecast size of the tropical storm force winds that currently extend out over 265 miles from the center, that wind field is going to continue to grow, bringing tropical storm conditions, dangerous wave conditions to the North Carolina Outer Banks, and that big risk of rip currents along the entire East Coast. You can see everywhere here in red from South Florida all the way up through southern New England at a high risk of rip currents, moderate risk up into northern New England. So please, it's not going to be safe to get out into the ocean along much of the United States East Coast today and through much of the rest of this week. In particular, we're very concerned about the potential for life-threatening inundation from storm surge along the North Carolina Outer Banks from Cape Lookout up to Duck, including places like Ocracoke Island, Hatteras Island, Kitty Hawk, all the way up through Dare County, with the potential for 2 to 4 feet of inundation above ground level here in this area along the ocean side. And looking at the wording from our partners at the National Weather Service office in Morehead City, the highest water is expected to be in the ocean side area of the Outer Banks from late today through Thursday and into Friday. And there's going to be large waves expected to cause significant severe beach and coastal damage.
Good morning. Hurricane Erin is currently a Category 2 hurricane that will likely strengthen over the course of the day today. The storm remains dangerous and is already impacting lots of people here in North Carolina. Folks on the coast need to take care. Based on the current forecast, we are anticipating coastal flooding from massive waves, tropical storm force winds, and tidal and storm surge for much of the state shoreline, especially the Outer Banks, from this evening through Thursday. Life-threatening rip currents for most of the week. No one should be in the ocean. And extensive beach erosion along much of the coast. We have already pre-positioned 3 swiftwater rescue teams and 200 National Guard troops to various locations on the coast, along with boats, high-clearance vehicles, and aircraft. We have on standby some Chinooks from Georgia ready to transport food and water if it becomes necessary.
Thanks, Governor. Laura Leslie with WR.
Do not drive through flood waters. Too many people have died driving into flooded roadways. Don't do it. You do not know how deep the water is or how fast it is running. So please, don't drown. Turn around. We do not want you to become a casualty of Hurricane Erin.
I want to remind everyone, regardless of the track of the center of the storm, dangerous conditions can be felt far from the eye, especially with a system as large as Erin. Regardless of her track, moderate to locally significant impacts are expected along our coast and expected to peak today and into tomorrow. Extremely large, dangerous waves forecasted around 20 feet in height, along with storm surge of 2 to 4 feet on top of the surf, will likely impact the dunes along portions of the North Carolina coast, especially east and southeast facing beaches and the Outer Banks. Numerous roadways will likely become impassable, especially on Highway 12, as the governor mentioned, and in communities on the barrier islands. This will be a longer duration event, with coastal flooding expected over several high tide cycles. We will see rain bands trailing Erin that will also impact the area, already saturated soils across the area, which could lead to extended impacts.
I want to emphasize the importance of taking this storm seriously because it's a serious storm and conditions can deteriorate quickly.